non-BJP governments are also doing with the business with this group. Why is everybody in a twist? But coming back to the specifics that have been raised tonight, Sanjay Jha, pardon me, don't raise your hand. I will come back to you. You're putting me in hot water because there are other people looking at me for their time. So I'll just go around the table and come back to you for all objections that you may have. Suhel Seth, let me ask you first. It's not as if Sebi's status report and the questions of inaction have not been looked at by the Supreme Court. Sebi's status report and the details of the 24 investigations does not seem to indicate inaction by Sebi. In fact, to the contrary, the course of conduct by Sebi inspires confidence that Sebi is conducting a comprehensive investigation. This is the Supreme Court's own observation in the order that they passed in January 2024. I want to ask you, despite that, all kinds of suspicions, questions have been raised. Is it a coincidence that Amit Malviya tweets that influencers have been given some 5,000 rupee charge? If that is correct, then is it a coincidence that people are being paid to create an anti-Sebi, anti-Adani kind of atmosphere on social media? Is it again completely conjecture or a coincidence that Adani is once again the target? Is it once again coincidence that given the fact that the earlier Hindenburg report found nothing with the Supreme Court, now so-called weaker government with 240 seats, as the opposition keeps pushing every day, this charge is once again made at the Modi Sarkar? All of these are coincidences, or is there really a scientific investigation done by Hindenburg?
What is really upsetting is that the Congress is only offering 5,000 rupees. If this is their confidence in the Indian economy, then we need to worry. Number one. Number two, since we are all Shakespearean this evening, there's a lot of much ado about nothing. I think Sanjay Jha and Ashutosh said, is India, Adani, India, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the thing. Yes, allegations have been made. What is Madhavi Puri book? That's the pronunciation, not Butch, book. What if she done and her husband? They have issued a set of disclosures. Now, Ashutosh, I don't know what आपकी धर्मपत्नी क्या करती है, पर obviously they are entitled to work. जैसे इनका धर्मपति काम कर रहा है. He's a private citizen. He was the former logistics director of Unilever. He wasn't some, chindu mindu guy. A, B. They have issued a set of disclosures. Now, let's say Rahul Gandhi, Ashutosh Verma, everyone has an objection to those disclosures. There is only one retort. The retort is, or the recourse is, you go to the Supreme Court and say Sebi as a regulator has not performed its fiduciary duty in the manner it should. Beyond that, it can't happen. But that's also not my concern. My concern is not even the equating of Adani with India and India with Adani. My concern is how much perverse pleasure will you get by actually spooking an entire market by saying we are worried about the small-time investor. And what does the small-time investor do? He comes back with full flow and the markets haven't crashed as everyone had imagined that they would. I think there are only two ways out of the solution. And Navika, I don't want to get into whether George Soros, because we must be terribly weak if one Hungarian national who can barely speak is now holding an entire country to ransom. Then there's something wrong with us. But I think the larger issue is as follows. India's economic prowess has never been as vibrant, as robust as it is. Therefore, should the markets be regulated with transparency? Answer is yes. Should the markets not be spooked by unnecessary slander or allegations? The answer to that is also yes. Now imagine Madhavi Puri book and Dhaval book have actually violated their fiduciary duty. They'll be hauled up in a court of law. It's the same Supreme Court to which all political parties run for cover when they need to. It's the same courts that give Rahul Gandhi bail and send Arvind Kejriwal to jail. I mean, I pardon the rhyming. That was not the intent. My point here is very simple. Are we not going to trust any of our institutions? It is not Sanjay or Ashutosh about this particular incident. It is about constantly berating, beating down our institutions and saying everything that is wrong with India I mean, everything that can be wrong with India is wrong with India without investigating. Let's imagine there is an expert committee. At the end of that committee's tenure, it decides that Madhavi Puri book has not acted ethically or within the norms of ethicality. Fair enough. Then you have a reason to berate. Then you have a reason to abuse. But to actually hold someone guilty and please resign tomorrow. Now imagine if she had resigned. That would be a sure indicator that there is something wrong, and that would have spooked the markets even more.
Absolutely, and it is here that I come in. It is here that I come in because Vivek Srivastava, there are 19 crore people, small investors who invest in stock markets.
Correct.
You, at the drop of a hat, can't start creating suspicion about, the institution that is the regulator, the government that is ruling the country, the markets, the companies. These are issues that where statements, one single statement can wipe off, savings of a whole lot of people. And they might not be politicians, they might not be rich as you are, because the average age of people investing in the stock markets has come down from 60 plus to around 35 years of age, which means young India is investing. I want to ask you, where is the responsibility that political parties in the opposition need to have? If you have a case, please go to the Supreme Court, as Suhel suggests.
Yes. So, are we trying to say that, okay, the stock market is important, 30 plus people are investing. So if by chance the chairman of Sebi is corrupt, she has her own personal interest, she has been giving the wrong information to the Supreme Court, let's not question it. Are we trying to say that?
No.
Look, Suhel sir, I think the husband of Madhavi...
Spend some time, prepare a petition, engage a lawyer and then go to the Supreme Court. That's what I'm saying. Free में जाकर stock market को हिलाने की कोशिश मत करिए.
That is not correct, madam. अरे मैडम, वो सेबी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंडर नहीं आता ना मैम, वो तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर आता है. तो हम तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से बात करेंगे ना.
गवर्नमेंट अगर इन्वेस्टिगेट कर लेगी तो आनंद रंगनाथन ये लोग मान लेंगे क्या? If the government investigates, will they agree with the government's findings? They won't, so they might as well go to the courts.
Because Adani, because Adani is the major election campaign funder of the BJP, and he is allowed to do all the hanky-panky. And I need 10 more seconds. The husband of Madhavi Book was an engineer, the chief procurement officer of Hindustan Lever. वो जाकर के टेक्निकल सामान खरीदने को हेड करते थे मैडम. जब ये बनी उसकी मेंबर सेबी की, अचानक उनको ब्लैकस्टोन में एडवाइजर बना दिया गया और फिर ब्लैकस्टोन की 2 सिस्टर कंपनीज को आईपीओ भी अलाउ किया गया. वही कंपनियां जिनको इन्वेस्टिगेट सेबी ने खुद किया, उसमें इनके हस्बैंड हैंकी पैंकी करके एडवाइजर बने रहे हैं.
You're making serious charges, Vivek Srivastava. You're making serious charges against an individual who's not here to defend himself. If there is hanky-panky, my friend, put the hanky-panky on the table or go to a court of law. Do not defame people on this show. But